I don't know what the difference is. You got to tell me when to start talking.
But I want the intro again.
Yes, no problem. Let's do it. All right. Woo! Hey, that's the best intro. Hey, I'm Coach Rick. We're Coach's Corner, and guess who I have? My very first podcast, my very first special guest, Coach RJ himself.
What up, what up, what up?
All right, so we're going to talk about some stuff. Obviously, coronavirus. I think we have no choice but to talk about it. So we have a few things we're going to talk about. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about some health tips. Obviously, this is the Coach's Corner, so we got some things to tell you. And we're going to shout out some of our sponsors. Number one, Mountain Bean, the best coffee ever.
Yes.
And they're serving, what are they doing? Just picking up right now?
Pickups.
So the restaurant's closed. So did you hear, I just heard that Brian Pallister called a state of emergency. Do you know anything about that?
So what does that even mean?
I don't know. That happened like 5 minutes ago. I wasn't prepared yet, but maybe you got it. Maybe Jerome can Google something while we're doing it.
Yeah.
Here's one we'll talk about, social distancing. We've been getting a little flack on that, and I feel like there's some things to be said. Personally, I feel like social distancing is one of those things that people are just kind of throwing at willy-nilly. There has to be a right way or a right time to say it and a wrong time to say it. And RJ, I know you and I have experienced this today with respect to our workouts. So we do the workouts the first thing in the morning, and then afterwards we like to take some pictures because, that's what we do, right? Trying to keep a positive vibe. Some positive pictures on our social media. We had a few people reaching out and say, hey, guys, you should practice your social distancing. So we shot a video back. RJ, what do you think about that? What do you think?
I think at this point, everybody's got to be a little bit cautious, right? Like for our workouts, we've decided that no newbies, right? No new people in. We've already built up the immunities amongst each other, I would say. But we don't want to do anything that's going to cause any type of cross-contamination because the rest of us, I just go from here to home, right? But there's some other people that are in our group that, like Hugo, his work is still open. So people are coming in there, and the people that are going in there probably have something because they're looking for supplements, right? Or they're worried about something. So, yeah, who knows? Yeah. But, one person that we've already kind of built up around, like, you know what I mean? That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
So I think that I don't think that we need to be super socially isolated. I think that people can go out, and if they're fearful, wear masks. Nobody's going to judge you at this point, right? It's going to be funny probably till Monday, and then I think after next week, as things kind of escalate, I don't think things are going to get extravagantly worse. But I think that people are going to be more precautious. So when they go out, expect to see people wearing gloves. Yeah. Expect people to be wearing masks, and I don't blame them, right? Like I just ordered a bunch. I got some masks, right? If things get really elevated, we'll probably, when we do our workouts, we'll probably all start wearing masks. That's why I bought everybody these $10 a piece masks because we just got to be. And I don't want to get sick. Yeah. Like I don't think I'll die. But I don't want to be sick.
Wait till you get your heart rate up and you're trying to breathe through that mask while you're doing burpees.
I want to continue life as usual. Yeah. So
here's the thing, and this is my concern, is right from the beginning I said if you're going to shut anything down, you shut it all down. You don't just pick and choose, right? So I guess they call certain businesses essential businesses or essential services. Personally, I feel like our gym is an essential service just to your peace of mind and make sure we don't go squirrely, but I get it. Anyways, how do you think they should be navigating through the grocery stores? Why, and Brian, who was just in here, he just said, they shut the hours or they reduce the hours. So now they're going to force more of us in there at once, right? Why not keep it 24 hours, spread everybody out, have a bouncer at the door, just like the nightclub, and you let people in, I don't know, 100 at a time or whatever it is. Why do they get to dictate our business but not the grocery stores? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think, and when I was talking to some of these workers, they're not allowed to wear masks from what they said. And I don't get it, right? Like I think that you definitely need groceries 100%, but there should be, stricter rules with it, right? Like you only get to do the pickups or whatever it is, but they're in there touching your food, coughing on stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's how it gets spread, right?
Like one person touches touches an orange and the other person touches an orange. Well, there you go. Transfer's done. I don't know. I mean, how do you stop this? So, and so, you're a businessman. I'm a businessman. I can tell, my story right now. My business has felt it big time. What I do is I have an embroidery business, so I sell apparel, headwear, and bags to companies and organizations, put a logo on it. So my business is one of those things that's very low on the totem pole with respect to when they need it. You know what I mean? It's a luxury item. It's not paying. They're paying.
Nobody's
their
thinking
employees.
about advertising right now.
Exactly. So a lot of the business that I deal with, though, it takes me a month or two to organize it because they're organizers of, say, golf tournaments or whatever. Now everything is being canceled. Businesses don't know if they're going to survive. So everything that I've had going is now on the back burner, right? So, RJ, I know I'm one of your coaches. I have been, what is it called, laid off.
Yep.
First time I've ever been laid off in my life. I don't even know what to do now. Anyways, how are you navigating this, man? What's going to happen? Tell everybody.
The reason why I'm not like in a panic mode is, my biggest expense is obviously the rent, right? And the way that I'm looking at it is that they're going to have the landlords, everybody's going to have to go thin, right? They're going to have to go thin. If they're expecting to get paid premium rates and they're going to expect every single business in here, right? Like we got a lot of real mom and pop shops here in the mall. And if they're expecting to charge them for their full rent, then they can expect them to close their doors and they can expect them to never be able to recover that, right? Like the couple units in this mall have been empty since inception, right? And so then you're going to have an even more empty mall. And so nobody wants to go and rent space at an empty mall at a premium price.
Yeah.
So that, the way that I see that's going to happen is that there's going to be relief everywhere. Like I plan to relieve our clients, right? I want to help everybody. I'm selling dumbbells at my cost, right? Because I have an abundance of it. So I'm like, let's let somebody have it so they can actually get a good workout. Because I don't think people are realizing right now that this is probably going to take 30 days.
At least.
On a good, like 30 days for some of these other businesses to open up. For us, it could take 30, could take 60 days. And in the meantime, we're sitting at home. Reagan made a post earlier, and she's like, usually I get 25,000 steps a day. She's down to 12, right? So that's 50% of your activity that has been reduced. Yeah. So you're talking about getting sick from the coronavirus. You're going to get sick from sitting at home, eating junk food, watching TV, and not building up any immunity. It's cold out. Nobody's going outside. Yeah. I was out yesterday. It was not a fun experience. Yeah. So you're inside right now. You need to be taking better care of yourself, not sitting around waiting for things to happen.
You bet. And then you double that up with the toxic messages that we're all getting from the media. You know what I mean?
It's a nonstop stimulus. Like, there's another case out in, Peru.
I know.
Right? It's just like.
So from the inside, we're toxic. Then we can't even release the sweat because we're not allowed to move anymore. Nope. It's a bad situation, and it's tough for the small businesses out there. So if you still have a job, if you got some means, man, support the local business. Forget Amazon for a while. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't need a new pair of Lulus.
Nah, man, just spend some money, buy some stuff from us. You know what I mean? Like we're trying our best to keep you healthy, so we need the support as much as possible. 100%. Right? So actually, one of the things that I want to talk about as well is reinventing yourself. So prior to this whole coronavirus, I've been big on this. I feel like the world is moving at a very fast pace. Yep. And one of the things that, if you know me, I talk about this thing called dinosaur mentality, which a lot of guys my age, a lot of women my age too, once you get into the 40s, it's almost like whatever you have been doing, that's all you can do for the rest of your life, right? Yep. Whereas I feel like technology is going to advance us so much where eventually robots are going to really do a lot of the stuff. If your job entails you basically just being an order taker or something like that, eventually a robot will do it, right? Like you walk into McDonald's, you're ordering off a screen now. Yeah. That's the introduction of it. You know what I mean?
Well, if I can avoid the line with no frills, I'm going right straight through. Like I just tap my credit card, I scan these things, I walk out.
Of course.
Versus like having to interact with somebody. And I want to go to the tills because I want to support their you know what I mean? Yeah. Like their jobs, but at the same time, there's nobody in line there. Yeah. It's going to take me 2 minutes. I don't need to interact with you, and I don't feel like waiting behind somebody that's got 10 times more groceries than me.
Exactly. So the way I see it is these self-checkouts or these kiosks, this is the replacement of the worker. They're saying it's for convenience, but this is how they're really rolling it out. You know
I would do it.
Absolutely. So my point is, so you take that, you take technology, and then now you throw this event on it where you're going to shut down some real businesses. It's going to be a lot. Yep. You're not going to have your job to go back to, some people. So how do you reinvent yourself? And that's one of the things that I've been doing for the last 3 years by being a fitness coach at the ripe old age of 44 years old. But you know what? I somehow managed to pull it off. So one of the things that I'm kind of preparing for, and what the message that I try to extend to people is, you need to learn a new skill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what are those skills? Like, what do you think some new skills in the new world is going to be? What do you think's important?
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like public speaking, being able to talk into a microphone, maybe talking on camera. What else you feel? What else you think, RJ?
Well, for sure, like being healthy.
Yeah.
You know, like
Absolutely.
that's going to be the next thing. Everybody is so shocked, so scared. And I feel up until this point, the majority of people didn't care about their health, right? We work out and everything like that, but I don't think really people took on the healthy component, right? And what I'm talking about that is like nutrition. But on top of that, I'm talking about self-care, recovery, right? Taking supplements just to help your body feel good versus taking supplements to burn body fat, right? And so a lot of people were trying to outwork a poor diet. And so I like this little bit of a break, because now you got to sit at home and you got to realize, hey, I can't go and eat a bag of almonds, even though it's healthier, but I can't eat a bag of almonds and expect to keep my weight off, right?
You got it.
So I'm always an advocate of the health, but I think a lot of it is going to transform into online support. There's, I'm part of a few online communities, and that's kind of like the next big thing. But I don't know, reinventing myself is something I've always done. I mean, I've built an online business in 3 days, and I've never done it.
Yeah.
And so...
No,
it's going to be, who's going to rule the world?
Who's that?
Are the learners.
Yes.
Right? So if you stop learning, you're going to stop going to that next level, whatever it is. If you think that everything that you knew up until this point is going to get you to that next level, well, then you're dead. Yeah. You're dead already.
And one of the other things I feel like people need to do is, I don't know how you call it, maybe check their ego.
Yeah.
Like I know when you get to a certain age, like one of the things that I feared when I started being a coach was my family, all right, because they're country folk, right? Okay. And I always worried that they were going to say something like, "Oh, now Rick is 40 and he's going to be an aerobics instructor." Those words exactly, right? I mean, it's not that. We know what it is, and in fact, I've never. This is probably one of the greatest responsibilities I've ever had. Call it a job, call it whatever you want. And I'm glad I did it, but I feel like that's probably a barrier that a lot of people suffer. It's like they don't know how to do anything. They feel like they're going to look stupid in front of their friends or their family or whatever. So I feel like everybody needs to. That's probably the number one thing is never mind what you're going to do, but first just be okay with doing something different. And maybe it's a cut and pay. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. Maybe you're doing something completely different. I mean, today I was wearing neon socks running around here. Short shorts. You know? So, okay, one last question about the topic, and then we're going to move on. So if you could go back a month, right before everything went down, what would you do different? Or how would you prepare just a little bit different?
I don't know. I don't think that there's anything differently I would have done. I don't really live my life. There's only a few things that I could look back on my life and say, you know what, I wish I would have did this just a little bit different. But ultimately, the decisions that you make are, you have to just live with them and you have to make the best of them. And there's nothing really that if I would have gone back, because I'm always ahead. You know what I mean? I'm too afraid to, I don't dump all my cash into the stocks, and I don't, you know what I mean? I've always got some type of like backup to the backup plan. It's just the way that I've always been. So to go back and stock up on toilet paper, well, we had too much toilet paper already by accident. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Let's shout out a couple of our sponsors while we're here. Speaking of this awesome coffee, courtesy of Mountain Bean. Appreciate it, guys. And like I said, small businesses, they're going to struggle a little bit. So if you can spend just a little bit of money, come and do it. My wife, Jen, she does her Zumba Strong. She's going to be doing her classes online, obviously, Sunday, like everybody is on Sunday. Speaking of which, we're not stopping, right? We're doing 7-day workouts. Is that the plan?
We're going 7 days a week.
Holy smokes.
And this is how we're evolving ourselves, right? I usually take 2 days off a week. I'm like, no, we're going 7 days a week, because I feel that people need to be more active. And if they can only do one a day, then we're going to do one every single day. Yeah. And
then watch it again. And, that's why you can create a little catalog. You can go back and do workout 1, workout 2, so it's a little bit of a variety. So let's hit them up with a little, what can they expect from our coaches while we're at it? So you want to fill them in? You're creating a list of everybody who's going to be coaching next week?
Yeah, so, we're keeping it to the same 6. We're not bringing anybody new in, unfortunately. But we want to keep it that way so that we can do this for as long as it takes. If we bring somebody new in, and I'm not worried about it, but I am worried about it. I don't want any, one of us gets sick, we all get sick, right? So it's like, let's just stick with the band that we've created. So, excuse me. Whoa. Speaking of which,
what about the mic? You're transferring the mic, right? Who's taking on the mics?
Yeah. So Monday is going to be me. I got a dumbbell workout. Tuesday is going to be Coach Butt Cheeks, calling it sweaty and salty.
Me.
Or salty and sweaty, one of the two. Wednesday is with Coach Hugo the Boss. Thursday is going to be me again. Friday is going to be Coach Caliente, or like he says, Fraye. And then Sweaty Saturdays is going to be Big Mama's House of Pain. And then Strong by Jen.
Strong by Jen.
Jen. Yeah.
Jen. So I listen. I see. I got some supplements in front of me.
Yep.
Before we talk about that, I wanted to shoot or let you guys know CBD. I don't know if you've. I know you've experimented with it. Have you done it on a consistent basis and tracked it? How you felt? Have you noticed anything that CBD helped you with?
When I had my knee, like when my knee was constantly throbbing, it would transfer up into my hip. So rewind. Last February, I completely fractured my kneecap in half. Right, so it was a major surgery. It'd be the same like somebody getting an ACL or even just like a knee replacement. It's the same thing, right? And I had such excruciating pain, and I was taking like Percocets, right? And the Percocets helped me for an hour, and then but it didn't diminish that throbbing that I would get in my hip. And I would just, and I know it topically, it's not supposed to work, but I don't know. There was just something about that I rub on my hip, and then it would reduce the pain almost immediately.
Yeah.
And I was using CBD rubs from Sky Convenience that I was using those and it had THC and CBD in there, and I was using that as like just a pain preventative. When I didn't take it orally. I think that it worked. I just don't like to be too chipper. I always have to have my edge on me, so I don't really like to be too chipper. So I didn't take it consistently because I was kind of feeling that.
Yeah.
Right? Like not like, oh, I'm all happy, but just a little bit too happy, right? I like to stay in a little bit of angry mode.
Yeah.
So
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I know that mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I started consuming CBD in two ways. Number one was oil under the tongue, and it's 1,000. I should get the numbers right before I start talking about it. But
it's 1,000 mg.
1,000 mg. So every dose, I guess, is 1,000 mg.
Yep.
Okay, so
I have it here.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I guess so. So like Vape Up is our guy.
Do you want me to get it? I have a bottle.
Yeah, sure. If you want to show it, we can show it. VapeUp.co. He's our guy. He's the guy that helps us out with all of our CBD products. Umesh, he's also one of our members here. Another guy that if you are looking for a little biohack, as I would like to call it, what I noticed that when I started taking the CBD oil, and what I did this time is because I don't want to just be a product flogger. I'm not just trying to say, hey, right now somebody gave us something to try, so we're going to flog it here. I actually used this for a while. Jerome, you want to zoom in on that? You can check it out. And what I've noticed is that my sleep has gotten solid. Now straight up, I take a sleeping pill, and I have for years to get myself to sleep.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that it's a negative. I feel that it's a positive, because if we have the ability to fall asleep, everybody has a problem of sleeping.
Yes.
So if you have something that can actually put you to sleep, use it. That's my opinion. The problem is, and probably like you, anybody who has a mind that might move, or any stresses in life, you're probably going to sleep a little bit not so sound.
Yeah.
And I noticed that the second that I started taking this, it worked really well. That's the only thing that I know it's done well for me. So it worked well for your knee pain.
Yep.
It works well for sleep for me. And one other thing before we get off this topic is we have a new blend of CBD's THC from Vapeco. He made it just for me. It's the Coach's Blend. So what it is, it's a micro dose of THC, but it's all CBD. So if you're the type of person who is trying to take that, and we can probably get into the psychedelics at some point, like that's going to become legal pretty soon. There's companies, so people are microdosing LSD. They're microdosing things to help people with ADHD and what do you call it when you go to war? You come back, PTSD. That's a big thing, anyways. And I really found that it gave me a really sense of well-being, and it made me fall asleep too. So there's a little biohack for anybody who's looking for sleep or an overall sense of well-being. CBD seems to be one of the things. So I see we got some other products here. Why don't you? What is that one you got there?
So this is Echinacea. These are actually really hard to find right now. This is actually the last bottle that I've got kind of kicking around, but I've been taking this ever since probably October or November when it started to get cold. And for me, it's supposed to boost your immune system, your white blood cells, that kind of stuff, right? And I haven't gotten sick ever since November. I just don't. I can't get sick, right? Like I have to be on point. So that's one of the supplements that I take, and it's if you can find it on the shelves. I know they have it at Canadian Nutrition.
Okay.
So they actually have lots, and she's not marking it up. I've tried to order 25 bottles from Superstore, and they're completely sold out.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, in the city. Yeah. So
how much are you taking today, just so everybody knows?
Well, this one's 2,500 milligrams. I take 2 a day. I always take my the supplements I want in me longer at night. So I'll take this. I'll take the tissue regenerator that is an anti-inflammatory, turmeric, and it helps like repair your joints, and my fish oils. And then I as well used to take like hard sleeping pills, but I found that I'd wake up and I just couldn't really focus. I found that I was like kind of like in a daze a little bit. So I've actually gone to just taking melatonin. In fact, even most nights I can just pass out.
Oh, you can?
But I'm less worried now than I was 6 months ago.
Right.
If that makes any sense, right? So whatever's going through my head, I found ways to cope with it. I write down now I don't need any of that stuff. I can in fact, I'd used to wake up and I would have thoughts and I would sit on and work on it for an hour, then I'd go back to sleep, try. Now I'm just like, it'll wait till tomorrow. And it's kind of like that mindset. It's like, I'll wait till tomorrow to take that. So echinacea, if you're not already taking this, you should be taking this just standard. It's just an herb, right? There's no real side effects to it. I've upped my dose now because I'm doing 2,500 milligrams, where I was only doing 400 milligrams, and I'm pretty set. I still fasting. It's 1 p.m. Last meal was at 6 p.m. So right now I'm kind of getting a little bit of the shakes, but I know that I have no side effects with that. The second one is vitamin D. So we're all lacking vitamin D, especially when it's cold out right now. So from what I've heard, this helps boost your immune system, but also it helps with your well-being. And then last but not least, obviously vitamin C, right? So another one that is immune booster. I can only take one of these a day because I don't know, I guess I'm some type of allergy, but and I don't know the recommended dose, so I would say take 1,000 milligram a day.
Yeah. All right, so that's a breakdown.
And that's it.
That's all. So not too much. You don't have to buy too many things, but you should
if
be
you were
doing
to take
something,
one,
right?
I would say it would be this one.
Echinacea?
Yeah,
All right.
100%.
So if we're going to promote something, that's what it's going to be?
If you can get it.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, so since you're all lucky enough to have Coach RJ here, we're going to hit him up with some questions. We want to obviously keep everybody healthy.
Yeah.
This is uncharted territories that we are in. We're locked down. We do have the ability to leave the house and do stuff, but we don't have the blue. We don't have our coaches putting a foot in our ass. Well, I do, I guess, but the people listening don't. Snacking.
Yeah.
How do we get past it, man? Everybody's snacking. They're bored.
And
you know?
just like your wallet, just like your business, just like everything, it's time to go thin, right? So you can still snack, but you now need to not eat so often, right? And I'm challenging everybody to start intermittent fasting, right? You're less busy now, I get it, but at the same time, you need to just put everything in one kind of like sitting. So I like to do a 20-hour fast. And that's where a lot of anti-aging, so we're talking about growth hormone release, we're talking about anti-cancerous. So basically, when you get into that mode, your cells are looking for nutrition, right? Like the strong, healthy cells need to get fed, and they're eating up dead, decayed cells that are sitting in there that are causing negativity in your body. So in and around that 20-hour mark is when all that kicks in. But at the same time, if you try to eat a bucket of ice cream and a bag of chips and then, regular meals, it's just not going to happen. You just don't have the time, and you just don't have the bandwidth in your stomach to be able to consume that. So
I think that's a great point. I think, especially our members, we're goal-oriented and systematic. We're systemized. We like, everybody likes to have their workout at a certain time, and I feel like that's a good challenge. So maybe we should extend that challenge to everybody right now. So while we're dealing with this, and we're not going to do it for a week, we're going to do it for as long as it takes.
Yes, you have to.
Why don't we set a time where everybody should stop eating and when they should start? So you're recommending or you do a 20-hour fast. That's
20.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think 12 hours is the absolute minimum.
20 hours, I would tell you, if you're under 150 pounds.
Okay.
Right? Because the amount of food that you're required to consume is a lot less. Now that you're not working out regularly, now that you're not walking to and from your car, whatever, you're everything is down. I would say that the total caloric value that you need. I know mine has dropped by 400. 400 a day. That's a meal. Yeah. Right?
Yep,
so I can cut out a meal. I can just do 2 meals, a shake, and then whatever treats I want to have, kind of thing. So I would say for Anybody that's 150 to 175, I would tell them to do an 18-hour fast. Anybody that's 200 plus, I would say that you could probably do a 16, but nothing less than a 16.
Right. So let's do the math. So let's say your last meal's at 9.
Yeah.
So 9 to 9 is 12. 9 till noon is, what is that, 13, 15. So 15. That's the time?
Well, 9 till 1 would be
9 to 1.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the
you
challenge.
shouldn't be eating at 9.
The 9 to 1. Okay, so let's
if
do
you're
this.
not
Let's
working
go.
anymore.
Let's yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let's go. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
You know, so let's go. What
8,
would be
8 p.m. is your latest meal.
8 to noon. Let's
8
shoot for
to
that.
noon. That's
8
16
to noon.
hours.
That's going to be the challenge. The
Yeah.
8 to noon challenge.
Yes.
So let's see who can do it. Why don't you guys give us a little feedback after this? Maybe post
Yeah.
it down. See who's up for it. So
Yes.
moving forward until you are allowed back on the blue.
Yeah.
It's an 8 to noon fast, and just figure out how to do it. So let's talk about fasting. What are you allowed to eat? What are you allowed to not eat?
You can have anything that's supplement form, meaning pills, So because they don't have dyes, they don't have there's no sugar, right? So anything that you swallow, you'll be fine. You can do water, you can do water, tea, coffee. Now, when it comes to artificial sweeteners, no. So you can't do BCAAs, even though they don't have any calories. You can't do diet pops because they don't have because they still have an impact on your blood sugars. But if you're just focusing on calories and you don't care about all the benefits of fasting, then sure, go have those 0-calorie things. But otherwise, if you're trying to get the health benefits and the fat burning properties, then you can't have anything that has a major impact on your blood sugars. So even like stevia and xylitol have very minimal impact on your blood sugar. So if you're looking to add sweetener, like I love my tea, that's what helps get me through these deep fasts. And so I go hefty with it, but it has a very minimal impact on breaking my fast. So water, tea, any pills that you really kind of swallow are fine. And then stevia, Zevia, or xylitol to just as a sweetener. But outside of that, air.
So, so we're really just trying not to raise that blood sugar.
Yes,
That's the mission here, right?
Lots of water.
Some people, and I don't necessarily disagree with it, they're okay with fats like Bulletproof Coffee.
Yeah.
Some people will do the Bulletproof Coffee fast or the fats fast, where they're just not increasing their blood sugar, right?
As much.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Again,
you probably don't do it that way, obviously.
No,
right?
I'm an all or nothing guy. So you can do the fats because they are slower releasing. But let's say in your Bulletproof Coffee, you're at about a 30 hit on your blood sugar. So blood sugars work from 0 to 100. 0 means no impact, water, right? Air, 0. And then 100 is like fruit roll-ups. It's like, like
Oreo cookies.
Well, no, Oreo cookies have fat and protein in them, so they'd be in the middle.
Yeah.
But dates, actually, so you want to talk like that's 100%. Okay. So as soon as you consume it, your body digests it and releases the blood sugars. That's basically what happens. Right. The only thing faster than a date and fruit roll-ups is liquor, because it bypasses your bloodstream, or I can't remember exactly what it is, but it goes right to your bloodstream, or bypass the liver. I can't remember exactly what it was. But and so when you're having your Bulletproof Coffee alone has about a 10, I believe, impact on your blood sugars. And then you're putting in the ghee butter and you're putting in the MCT oils. So those are probably closer to a 20 or 30. So your total impact is about a 25 out of 100. So it's slower releasing. So you're not going to get that major, but you're going to get a 25% little boost.
Right.
And so if you're just trying to reduce your eating window, then 100% I would say start your day off with the Bulletproof Coffee, because now you can extend your fast longer.
Yeah.
You have that Bulletproof Coffee at 9 in the morning, you're good until at least noon.
Yeah.
Right? You don't need to put those calories in.
I would agree.
Yeah.
And that's actually the way I do it. So you got two ways of doing it. You can, like you said, if you want to do the benefits of fasting, you can't put anything in there, water, air. But if you need to, get over that hunger pain and you want to but you want to do it for the 15 hours, try with that. 16 hours.
Yes.
So, which brings me to my rule of half. This is something that I've been thinking about lately. Is how do you become a little bit better? So we talk about being 1% better every day.
Yep.
What I've noticed is that so you just said that you're an all or nothing guy, and I feel like you're a rare breed, right? It's not all or nothing for some, or maybe it is mentally, but physically or actually doing it, it's not going to happen. And I'll use New Year's as an example, right? So New Year's resolutions, what do we say? I'm going to lose 30 pounds. I'm going to stop eating carbs. I'm not going to eat sugar. You hit yourself with all of these things, and you know damn well day one, you've lost the battle,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
you just can't. You can't do it. So one of the things that I've started to take in myself is the rule of 50. So every day or every week or every month, that's a timeline that you will determine that you're going to cut out half of the things that you don't want to consume. So we're just talking food for now, all right?
Yeah.
If you want to talk physical activity, you're going to walk 1 extra mile in the day. So it's the rule of 50% basically.
Yes.
So one of the things that I suggest is if you're trying to start a new diet, start a new nutrition plan, if you're trying to create a new habit, start by doing that. Let's just even say you smoke cigarettes. Let's go right back to the basics here.
Okay.
So instead of smoking a pack of cigarettes,
Yeah.
smoke a half a pack of cigarettes and do that for a month. And then from there, you're going to reduce it 50%.
Yes.
It might take you 6 months, but you'll eventually get to zero, you know?
Yeah.
So instead of wanting to have this instant gratification, just go ahead and start knocking things down in half. And before you know it, you'll be where you want to be. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing is that people got to realize that Monday isn't coming. So when we want to start eating clean, when we want to start working out, like, and we're going to wait till Monday, today is Monday, tomorrow's Monday. Like every day right now, you need to start making a decision as to what are the things that you've been putting off that you know that you should be doing. And what the heck? What are you waiting for Monday? You don't have work tomorrow, Monday. You've been off work since Monday.
Every day's Friday now.
Every day's Friday. Yeah. So it's like you start over every single day.
Yeah.
But I'm 100% agreeing with you. So we just did that 6-week challenge, and I came out and my body fat was about 15. Right. I didn't look as good as I did at the other one. Right. So we did the other one in.
You're also traveling though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was New Year's, right? And then we were gone for 2 weeks into Hawaii, and I worked out every day, but I didn't eat clean. But towards my end of the trip, I started to cut back. So it was like at the very end of it, so at the start of it, I was ordering these giant L&L dishes. You know my L&L dish. So basically it's pounded chicken thighs, marinated in sugar, right? Amazing. And then it's got white rice and mashed potatoes or something like it's just all carbs, right? They don't have vegetables out there, right? And so
it's so good.
It's so good, yeah. And I would always order the double order, right? Because it's $10, and it would like the plates are like this, and I would eat it in one sitting.
You ate it, or you and Neri shared it?
Well, it started with me eating the giant plate by myself.
Okay.
And then we started ordering 2 regular plates, like one for me, one for her and the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got down to us just ordering one big plate between the two of us. And then by the end of it, we were just that was kind of how we stretched it out. And then it went from like eating ice cream every day and to just like narrowing it down to no ice cream. Right. And then when we came back, it was like, okay, I just need to eat regular food.
Yeah.
Right now, and that's how. So week 3 of the 6-week challenge. So 2 weeks was eating that, and then week 3 was me just eating regular food, and then week 4 was cutting one thing out at a time. Week 5 was like, okay, really clean it up, and then week 6 I dialed it in. So I went from like 18% body fat to 15% body fat, but that was like a 6-week period.
Yeah.
Right, and exactly the rule of half is like what. Instead of having, when I came back, it was just eating all good food, but lots of it, right?
Yeah.
So I'd eat 12 Neri's bars, which is like 2,400 calories,
yeah.
right? And then so it went from 12 to 10, 10 to 8, 8 to 6, and then I got down to 4, and then I did a week of none.
Yeah.
Right? But it took me that long.
Yeah, and I think that's the right way of doing it,
Yeah.
right? It's not so shock to the system, you know?
Yep.
It's almost like an addict.
Yes.
You can't just take that drug away from that addict. You got to take them down slowly, or else they will, your body's going to fight you, and you're either going to have some bad physical effects. The way you're going to feel is going to be awful. Or it could even be even worse. You know what I mean? Or you're just going to go right back to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're not going to have the willpower to power through it. So,
yeah.
Anyways, I think we discussed a few good topics. We got the first podcast out of the way.
Yes.
So why don't we just let everybody know how we're going to be moving forward? So obviously we don't know how long this coronavirus is going to last. The workouts ain't stopping. We're going to put them on. We're going to put on
7 days a week.
We're going to put
7
on
7 a.m. 7 a.m. is going to be the new times.
All right.
And as people start to get up, I think 7 a.m. is socially acceptable at this point now, right? Like we were doing the early mornings because people had work, but I feel like 80% of the population is going to be laid off by today, and then even like as it goes, it's going to be another percent. Eventually, it's just going to be frontline workers and grocery stores, obviously.
Yeah. So as of tomorrow,
7
we're starting at 7 a.m. So if you worked out today, it was 6:20. Tomorrow it's 7 a.m. And we're going to be bringing the heat. So we're going to be putting the other coaches on the mic. We're going to give everybody a shot at it.
Yeah.
And, of course, we're looking for your suggestions. If you guys want to comment, we're more than happy to listen to what you have to say. What else should we have a quick discussion about? Moving. that's one of the last thing we're going to talk about, RJ.
Okay.
All right. So we're locked in our houses. We're allowed to leave, but we're not really allowed to do anything.
Yeah.
It's cold outside.
Yes.
What can we do? What can we do to keep on moving?
So what you need to do is start with, when you have dinner, start with the smaller plate, right? So I know we're used to these giant plates. I would say cut yourself down to a bowl and then just eat smaller portions of it so that you have to continuously get up. I know with the Nary's bars, right? Like I'm doing four a day right now. Mm-hmm. I'll literally take off a 20% chunk, go sit down, eat, and then get back up. 20% chunk, go down, get back up. Yeah. And any chance I can get, I'm literally walking around. So I have on my laptop, I have a break scheduled every 20 minutes. And so I'm up every 20 minutes, and I make sure that I put 2 minutes of just complete walking. Any chance I can do with my Zoom meetings, I'm doing them standing up, right? And any chance I can walk to the grocery store or whatever, I'm walking. And my mission is, yesterday was a little bit cold. I don't know if we'll do it again today. I feel like it's even colder today, but as the weather warms up, I have scheduled family time, right? And we're going to go for a walk every single day at the same time.
So the point of that is to schedule your moving,
yeah,
schedule your
we're
water.
We're going to set up a time for these podcasts, right? So 7 o'clock we do the workouts. Then I usually have about an hour meeting with my team, and then we'll jump on the podcast. So 7:30, we all sit around, we talk for 15 minutes. We start our meeting at 8 to 9, we're done. Maybe we start the podcast at 9:15 every morning.
Yeah. Schedule your water, schedule your hand washing,
yes.
Schedule your movement. Just put it on your phone, right? All right, let's wrap it up. Thank you. So everybody, if you're listening, appreciate it. Podcast number 1. Thank you, RJ, for joining me on this one. And what do we say now? We'll see you on the blue, I guess. How do we finish
on the blue
this?
Screen? Yeah.
We'll see you on the blue, guys.
We'll see you on the blue.
We'll see ya.